Ever dreamed of a life where your savings stretch beyond belief? Welcome to Uzbekistan, the hidden gem, where your retirement fund turns into a treasure chest. Searching for excitement without the hefty bill? You're in the right place. Join me as we uncover the secrets of living or retiring in the world's most affordable country. We'll discuss the cost of living in Uzbekistan compared to the US and Canada, visa requirements for us and Canadian citizens, the security system, entertainment options, average weather, healthcare facilities, and perhaps most importantly, the pros and cons of retiring in Uzbekistan. With so many questions on your mind especially, I will reveal exactly how much money you need to live or retire in Uzbekistan. Make sure to watch the video till the end, then don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help us to create more valuable content for you. Ever heard of Uzbekistan? It's tucked away in Central Asia, a hidden gem sandwiched between Turkmenistan and Tajikistan. Now, don't let its location fool you. This place is as vibrant as a bustling bazaar. This stunning architecture, rich history, a culture that's as warm as a freshly baked samosa. So, if you're looking for a change of scenery, Uzbekistan might just be the ticket. Let's talk about living cost compared to America and Canada. Living in Uzbekistan is like finding a designer outfit at a thrift store price. The cost of living is a staggering 291% lower than in the US. That's right, your dollar stretches further than a yoga master in a flexibility contest. Let's talk about rent. It's 74.4% lower than in the US. That's cheaper than a garage sale. But here's the kicker. The average cost of living in the US is around $2,433, but in Uzbekistan, it's just $623. That's a staggering 291% more expensive in the US. Now, if we talk about Canada, ever wondered how your hard-earned money would fare in Uzbekistan? Well, hold on to your hats because the cost of living in Uzbekistan is a whopping 59.2% lower than in Canada. That's right, your dollar stretches further than a yoga master in a flexibility contest. Imagine this. The average cost of living in Canada is around $2,042, but in Uzbekistan, it's just $623. That's a staggering 228% more expensive in Canada. And let's talk about rent. In Uzbekistan, it's 67.6% lower than in Canada. So, you can live in comfort without breaking the bank. But here's the kicker. The average after-tax salary in Canada is enough to cover living expenses for 1.4 months. Compared to just 0.6 months in Uzbekistan. So, while your money might go further, you'll want to consider your income sources. So, if you're dreaming of a retirement where your dollar works harder, Uzbekistan might just be your next paradise. Stay tuned for more insider info on life in Uzbekistan. Alright folks, let's explore the lifestyle and accommodation options this hidden gem has to offer. First up, the lifestyle. Picture this: a vibrant blend of ancient traditions and modern influences. The culture is as rich as a bowl of plov, with a history that stretches back to the Silk Road. From the bustling bazaars to the awe-inspiring mountain peaks, there's never a dull moment. And the people, they're as warm and welcoming as a freshly baked samosa. But remember, it's not all sunshine and samosas. Navigating the local etiquette can be trickier than a game of Twister. So, if you're up for an adventure, Uzbekistan might just be your next stop. Now, let's talk about accommodation. From old Soviet-style apartments to swanky new builds, you've got options galore. Imagine living in a building that's seen more history than a high school textbook. But if modern conveniences are more your style, there are plenty of new builds that offer all the comforts of home. And the best part, it's more affordable than a garage sale. Alright folks, let's talk about something that's as important as your morning coffee: security. Now, Uzbekistan takes its security as seriously as a cat takes its nap time. The State Security Service, or SSS, is the national intelligence agency of the government of Uzbekistan. It's like the big brother you never knew you had, always watching out for you. But it's not all cloak and dagger stuff. The SSS is also responsible for suppressing dissent and Islamic activity, surveillance of potential opposition figures and groups, as well as prevention of corruption, organized crime, and narcotics trafficking. So they've got their hands full, to say the least. But remember folks, while the SSS is working hard to keep things safe and secure, it's always a good idea to stay alert and aware. Alright folks, let's talk fun and games in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing endless desert landscapes, think again. Uzbekistan is a playground for the adventurous at heart. Picture this, you're in Tashkent, the capital city, and the night is young. Where do you go? How about the Alisher Navoy Opera Ballet Theatre for a taste of high culture? Or maybe you're in the mood for some drama at the Ilkum Theatre. May not your scene? No problem. The Paktikor Stadium is where it's at for sports fans. But wait, there's more. The nightlife in Uzbekistan has flourished in recent years with the modern development of a number of legendary bars and posh clubs. Made from the vibrant Pasha bar and restaurant in the Grand Mir Hotel to the electrifying opera nightclub on Rashidov Street, there's something for everyone. So, whether you're a culture vulture, a sports fanatic, or a night owl, Uzbekistan's got you covered. Stay tuned as we uncover more about this fascinating country. Alright folks, let's talk about the weather in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing endless desert landscapes, think again. Uzbekistan has a climate that's as diverse as a box of chocolates. In the vast steppe plains of the central western part, the climate is arid continental, but in the east, where hills and mountains are found, it's still continental but moderately rainy and snowy in winter. During summer, from June to August, is hot. The average temperature in July ranges from 27 deg 81 degs in the north to 30 deg C 86 deg in the south. But don't worry, in the mountains the temperature naturally decreases with altitude. The best time to visit Uzbekistan is during spring April to May and autumn September to early November. It's typically warm and dry during these periods, with temperatures sitting around 21 deg C to 30 deg Z during spring and 14 deg C to 30 deg during autumn. Let's switch gears and talk about the education system in Uzbekistan. The public compulsory school system is divided into three broad stages: primary from grade 1 to 5, secondary from grade 5 to 9, and upper or vocational from grade 10 to 11. Or in lyceum, colleges. Students are typically enrolled at the age of 7 and commonly end their secondary education at the age of 18. After that, they either start their career or matriculate at a university. In Uzbekistan, 11 years of education are compulsory and free, beginning with 4 years at primary school and followed by 2 phases of secondary education taking 5 and 2 years respectively. Higher education is available from several universities and over 50 higher education institutes. The flagship is the Tashkent Islamic University. So, whether you're a weather enthusiast or an education aficionado, Uzbekistan's got you covered. Stay tuned as we uncover more about this fascinating country. Alright folks, let's talk business and investment opportunities in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing endless desert landscapes, think again. Uzbekistan is a goldmine of opportunities waiting to be discovered. First up, business possibilities. From becoming a software developer to starting a real estate business, the opportunities are as diverse. Imagine this, you're running a successful dropshipping business or a content writing company right in the heart of Central Asia. Or maybe you're more into education and have started a tutoring business. The possibilities are endless. The potential areas for investment in Uzbekistan are as vast as the country itself. The energy sector is buzzing with opportunities, thanks to Uzbekistan's abundant natural resources. And if you're more into agriculture or manufacturing, there's plenty of room for growth. But here's the kicker. The technology and innovation sector is ripe for investment. Picture this, you're at the forefront of the latest tech trends, making waves in the heart of Central Asia. And let's not forget about transportation and logistics, urban development, and real estate. So, whether you're a budding entrepreneur or an experienced investor, Uzbekistan's got you covered. Alright folks, let's talk about buying property in Uzbekistan as a foreigner. Now, if you're picturing endless paperwork and legal jargon, think again. The process is as streamlined as a high-speed train. You'll need to find a property that tickles your fancy. This can be done through local real estate agencies or online property listings. Once you've found your dream property, it's time to negotiate the price with the seller. Remember, bargaining is a national sport in Uzbekistan, so don't be shy. Next, you'll need to hire a local lawyer to help you with the legal paperwork. This includes drafting the sales contract and registering the property under your name. But here's the kicker. You'll need a residence permit (RP) to purchase a residential property. And and the state fee for foreigners is 10% from the contract price. So, if you're dreaming of owning a piece of this Central Asian gem, Uzbekistan might just be your next stop. Alright folks, let's talk about the government support and rules for foreign investors in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing endless paperwork and legal jargon, think again. The government of Uzbekistan has been pursuing comprehensive economic and social reforms aimed at boosting growth, expanding international relations, and creating favorable legal conditions for foreign direct investments. It's like rolling out the red carpet for foreign investors. Whilst the center of investors in the system of the Investment Promotion Agency delivers one-stop-shop services. This means they facilitate interactions of foreign investors with government bodies and local entrepreneurs in the field of investment activities. It's like having a personal assistant to navigate the investment landscape. But here's the kicker. The legislation on investments and investment activity consists of the Law on Investments and Investment Activity and other legislative acts. Speaking of an international treaty of the Republic of Uzbekistan establishes other rules than those provided for by the legislation of the Republic of Uzbekistan on investment activity. Then the rules of the international treaty shall apply. Alright folks, let's talk healthcare in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing endless queues and paperwork, think again. The healthcare system in Uzbekistan is amazing. First up, there are 2,834 primary and rural medical facilities in Uzbekistan. That's more than the number of Starbucks in New York City. These include polyclinics, outpatient clinics, dispensaries, outpatient departments of hospitals, medical units, independent medical health centers, rural medical centers, and women's clinics. And let's not forget about the 16 mental hospitals in Uzbekistan. That's right, mental health is taken seriously here. But here's the kicker. Some of the notable hospitals include the Bukhara Himchan Hospital, opened in 2019, and the COVID-19 hospital in Tashkent, with 2,000 beds, built in 2019. And let's not forget about the Central Military Medical Hospital in Tashkent. Alright folks, let's talk about the nitty-gritty visa requirements for us and Canadian citizens traveling to Uzbekistan. First up, for us citizens under 16 and over 55, it's your lucky day. You can travel visa-free to Uzbekistan as long as you're accompanied by your legal guardian, who will need to abide by the relevant visa rules. For the rest of the US citizens, you'll need a visa for travel in Uzbekistan. But here's the kicker. Your passport must be valid for at least 3 months beyond your allowed period of stay. And you'll need one blank page for the entry stamp. Now, let's switch gears and talk about Canadian citizens. Good news, folks. Canadian citizens do not need a tourist visa when traveling to Uzbekistan in 2024. Canadian passport holders can stay in Uzbekistan for a short period of time for 30 days. So whether you're a US or Canadian citizen, Uzbekistan's got you covered. But remember, always check the latest visa requirements before you travel. Stay tuned for more insider info on life in Uzbekistan. Alright folks, let's dive into the cultural norms and etiquette in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing a rigid set of rules, think again. The etiquette in Uzbekistan is as warm and welcoming as a freshly baked samosa. When meeting someone in Uzbekistan, it's customary to greet them with a handshake accompanied by a nod. And remember, respect for the elderly is deeply ingrained in the culture. So, if you're out and about, always show deference to your elders. But here's the kicker. When it comes to dress code, modesty is key. Shorts and strapless t-shirts will get you strange looks anywhere in Uzbekistan, and at religious sites they really are unacceptable. Pack your suitcase accordingly. And let's not forget about dining etiquette. The Uzbek people pay special attention to the cleanliness and safety of the drinking water. So if you're invited to someone's home for a meal, remember to compliment the host on the food and drink. So whether you're a seasoned traveler or a first-time visitor, understanding the cultural norms and etiquette in Uzbekistan can make your journey even more enriching. And finally, let's talk about the pros and cons of retiring in Uzbekistan. Now, if you're picturing a quiet retirement in a sleepy town, think again. Retiring in Uzbekistan is as vibrant and diverse as a box of chocolates. First up, the pros. Imagine this: you're living in a country with a rich cultural heritage, diverse landscapes, and vibrant cities. And the best part, the cost of living is as low as a limbo bar. That's right, your retirement savings will stretch further than a yoga master in a flexibility contest. But here's the kicker: the friendly people of Uzbekistan will make you feel right at home. And let's not forget about the delicious food. From mouth-watering plov to succulent shashlik, your taste buds are in for a treat. Now, let's talk about the cons. While Uzbekistan has a lot to offer, it's not without its challenges. The infrastructure is still developing, which can make getting around a bit of a challenge. And while the cost of living is low, the average salary is also lower than in the US or Canada. So, you'll want to have a solid retirement plan in place. Another thing to consider is the healthcare system. While there are plenty of healthcare facilities, access can be limited, especially in rural areas. So, you'll want to make sure you have a good health insurance plan. And finally, the language barrier can be a source of frustration for those who don't speak the local language. But don't worry, many locals speak English. And there are plenty of language schools where you can learn Uzbek. So, whether you're dreaming of a retirement where your dollar stretches further and your adventures are endless, or you're looking for a quiet place to relax and enjoy the finer things in life, Uzbekistan might just be your next stop. But don't take my word for it. Pack your bags, book a flight, and experience the magic of Uzbekistan for yourself.